Hello and welcome. I am Scrapperlock, and this is City of Heroes on the Rebirth server. We are with Tiger Shrike, our level 37 Stalker. Has 4.8 million, almost 5 million XP, 750,000 to go to get to level 38 and our next and final regen power. Well, sort of final regen power, Moment of Glory. We will be able to get revive at some point, but I'm going to work on the body mastery first because that's much more important to me than revive. We don't die very often, although we did die last episode because I wasn't paying attention. We are in the Envoy of Shadows story arc, and this means that when we go to face him, several of the missions it's not necessary to face him, but one of them it is. When we go to face him, we may have to lower the mission difficulty. And what I'm going to try to do, and I'm going to be careful about this, and we can do this because we have hide. What I'm going to try to do is leave it on +2, and in the first mission that has the envoy, and I don't remember which one that is, I don't think it's this one, but the first mission that has the envoy, he's, for like a couple of missions, he's optional. And by the way, guys, in launch he used to be an arch villain, but they lowered him to an elite boss, and he's still almost impossible to beat. He's really tough. So I think what I'm going to do is in the very first mission that has him, where it's optional to defeat him, and you don't have to do it, I'm going to complete the mission without fighting him, if I can. And then after it's complete, so that we don't have to do a run back from the hospital, I'm going to try to go at him when he's +2 or +3, and just see how we do. Right? If it turns out that without Moment of Glory we just have no chance, then I will lower the difficulty in the mission where you have to defeat him. If we do well against him, and it seems like we either we beat him, or it seems like, well, we could have beaten him with just a little bit better play, I'll leave it. So we're going to just have to see how it goes. We'll use that as a test. But we're probably not going to see him yet. So the next thing that Kadeo Kestrel says is, through the city's mystics and occultists, I've been on high alert. Though the city's mystics and occultists have been on high alert after you found that warrior summoning had gone wrong, the Circle of Thorns have still accomplished a major kidnapping. Their target was a Circle of Thorns mage called Acarist. They're kidnapping their own mage who had defected. Oh, right, who had defected from the Circle. Acarist. Oh, right, this is the guy that was in the previous Circle storyline, the Library of Lost Souls. Acarist had been in Mage's protective custody, so we've got to go get him back. So this is in Founders Falls. I was going to say we could go to Ouroboros, but really we don't need to, because the train is right there. So we may as well just go. Whoops, got to turn on super speed. Yeah, I mean, in the old days it would have been faster to go to Ouroboros because the King's Row train station did not originally connect directly to Founders Falls. It connected to South Steel Canyon, which I guess was the green line, and then you had to run from South Steel Canyon to North Steel Canyon to take the yellow line, or maybe the line colors were reversed, but you had to do it that way. And so then it would be much more efficient to go to Ouroboros, but with the various screen load times, I don't think it would have been any faster to go to Ouroboros than to just run over here. There's only like King's Row, which is pretty small. Super speed is really fast and quick and easy to get across. It's really more things like Independence Port that can get frustrating with any movement power because it's so big. So we're going to select this task and go get Acarist, who is 700 yards away. So again, I don't remember if the envoy is in this mission. If he is, it'll be interesting to see if we can beat him. But I'm going to try to do it, now that I remember, how it goes. Whereas in that other mission the first time I fought him again, I didn't realize that there are several optional encounters with him before the one where you actually have to beat him. And I'd forgotten that, so I was trying to beat him and then found out it was optional. This time I remember that it's optional. So we're not going to go at him until the mission is complete. Okay, so Earth Thorns first. So having these multiple spawns close to each other and then being able to aggro each other is actually not a problem, as long as you know it's there. My problem has been a couple times, as you've seen, going in, turning around, assassinating, looking this way, not realizing there's somebody behind me and aggroing them without realizing it. Right? There's a huge difference when you're doing this between aggroing multiple spawns, knowing that you're going to aggro multiple spawns, knowing what's there and being ready for it, and accidentally aggroing another spawn and not being ready for it. Right? And that is often the difference between life and death in this game. Right? If you're ready for the over aggro, it's no problem most of the time. You know what you're doing, you've got your inspirations, you're ready to click powers, you hit your instant healing, you're ready to go. True for any power set, not just regen, right? But when you don't realize that you're going to be fighting multiple spawns like this, right, that's when you can get into some trouble. Now, my judgment is that this is actually, I'm going to actually go backwards here, because I feel like this guy is protected from being seen from the other spawn better than the other spawn was. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but it just feels a little better to me, so that's what we're doing. So yeah, you can go back and look at, you know, with the scrapper, and you'll see it with this character as well, that, you know, sometimes I deliberately aggro multiple spawns. Yeah, there's 4 spawns in here, I'm just going to go fight them all. If you know it, you're usually fine. But if you don't realize it, and you get over aggro by surprise, that's oftentimes when you faceplant. And really, to criticize myself, and I deserve it, with a Stalker that has hide, right, there's really no excuse for over aggroing. You should always look before you leap. And the problem is, this character is just so awesomely powerful and kicks so much butt that since, you know, 22nd level or something, I haven't bothered to look before I leap because, like, who cares? She can handle almost anything, right? And then when I accidentally, you know, aggro 3 spawns at once, I'm like, oh crap. She can't quite handle exactly anything, you know. But yeah, and it's sort of like Scrapper Lock. You know, this is sort of Stalker Lock. And you just get so used to being able to crush everything you fight that when you're just not ready for the what happens when you over aggro if you're not paying attention. So there's 1 spawn here, but not 2. Okay, so there's a way out there. Is this a dead end? That's a dead end. Okay, so let's map that out. I think it is really funny when the minions are more dangerous than the lieutenants. But the lieutenant is nothing here, right? All he does is fire damage, who cares? It doesn't do anything. It burns a little bit, so what? Vulnerable to knockdown. He has no appreciable resistance to me. Right, I'm doing 106 damage out of, what, 117 or something? 131. Well, he's got a little resistance. Some of that's just his level and the fact that he's a lieutenant. But, you know what I mean? No problem. Earththorn casters, miss. And they're debuffing you and hitting you constantly. Okay, back to super speed. Now, to be fair to myself, oh, wow, okay. These guys are level 40s. To be fair to myself, I will say one of the reasons I don't probably scout as much as I should is because I know I'm filming, right? And I don't... See, I did it again. I did it again. I don't want to take a ridiculously long period of time to... and bore everybody with, like, slowly crawling my way through the dungeon, or whatever you want to call it, the mission, And slowly crawling my way through this place, and you know, finding every little enemy and potentially boring everybody, right? And it's probably a little more entertaining to watch me get my butt kicked sometimes when I'm not paying attention. So we handled it even though it was a surprise. It's just that if I'd realized it was like that, I probably would have done something different, right? Because I wasn't looking. Because they were around the corner. Okay. Yeah, they really put the spawns close in some of these maps. Yeah, so I don't remember what I was talking about before that happened. I was busy saying, I guess, that you got to be careful. And then I wasn't being careful. So in fairness to myself is what I was saying. I do try to speed this along, right? I don't think people are going to want to watch me like creeping my way through a mission. I feel like that could get very slow, right? And then I end up doing stupid stuff like this because I'm trying not to bore everybody. Right? And so I'm assuming that you're not going to want to see me creep my way through. And no Akarist. Oh, there's some guys over here. How did I miss them? Where did they come from? There wasn't anybody over there before, was there? Is that an ambush? And they can't figure out how to get to me? Oh well. Mission complete. So yeah, I mean, I try to keep the pace going in these videos, and it does lead to me being sloppy sometimes. I try not to be sloppy. But, you know, sometimes you're busy talking and you get distracted. Okay, so we've seen samples of Akarist Spider handwriting before, and these books are definitely written by him. There are numerous volumes here. Each one chronicles a different aspect of a great war between the ancient people of Orenbega and another lost civilization called the Mu. The books start with the creation, stories, and mythic founding of Orenbega by refugees whose god led them across the sea in great ships after they had been exiled from their homelands for practicing magic, and proceed up to the war. The last volume Akarist is working on has only reached the first few days of the conflict, where Mu skyships rained a magical fire down upon the outlying Orenbegan cities. From the detailed descriptions, it seems as if Akarist himself was an eyewitness. Alright. So we contact Kadeo Kestrel, and he says, I'm sorry, Tiger Shrike, it looks like the information wasn't completely correct. Finding his books may be a good step, though. I'll talk with some of the dowsers I know. They may be able to get a better idea of where Akarist is by using the books. Okay. Next mission. Circle of Thorns is still holding Akarist. Circle Defector they kidnapped right after they tricked the warriors into summoning something for them. However, I think I've got a location on where they're holding him. If my resources are correct, he's not being held in Orenbega, but in an abandoned office building. Can we rescue him? So, now we're going to go rescue him. And kind of the weird thing about this, and this is Dark Astoria now, the weird thing about this is sometimes with these, and I don't remember if this is the case or not, you want to rescue Akarist and you have to fight him. It's like, I thought we were rescuing you. But I think in this one, we don't. Oh wait, what am I doing? We're not going back there, we're going to the back. To Dark Astoria. So let's see, where are we on XP here? We're 3 beats in. Still working on the first story arc since getting to 37, so that's not bad. And it's pretty close. lots of Banished Pantheon here, but they're way below our level, so we can ignore them. And it's sort of appropriate that they're holding him in Dark Astoria, which is a magical zone. Or at least it is, and it was back at launch as well. It's a different kind of magical zone now because it's a level 50 plus zone. Maybe I'll show you guys that zone when the time comes. I think we probably can. The missions in Dark Astoria are not appropriate for Silver Phoenix, so I didn't do them on screen. They're not appropriate because they're kind of more vigilante style, right? They're not necessarily as heroic as I wanted Silver Phoenix to be, so I did not engage in them. In fact, I think there's a story I didn't tell, which I can tell now. So this is on the Homecoming server. I was playing Silver Phoenix, and it was level 50, and there's a series of story arcs in Dark Astoria, and we were doing them. And so I'm on a supergroup, and the supergroup is a roleplay-oriented supergroup. So you roleplay your characters. And a lot of people just roleplay their characters out of combat, and then when they're running missions, they don't roleplay. It used to frustrate the heck out of me with my old supergroup in live. We'd be in missions, and I'd be trying to roleplay about the mission, and they're just running from spawn to spawn. And I was like, but I want to roleplay. And they wanted to just get the mission done. And that's, you know, a choice. Wasn't the choice I wanted to make, but that's a choice. There's nothing wrong with it. It did frustrate me a little bit, because we'd finish, you know, doing a battle, and I'd start typing in chat to roleplay, and I'd look up from my keyboard, and everybody's gone, and they're all fighting the next spawn, and I was trying to have my character make an in-character comment about what was going on in the mission. So the reality is that even for roleplay-oriented guilds, most people actually don't excuse me, most people actually don't do a lot of roleplay in missions. But the supergroup that I'm on, right, being a roleplay supergroup, one of the leaders said, hey, let's do some in-character missions, in-character story arcs. So we had an in-character story arc night. And I hadn't done the first few, but I said, okay, I'll join. And she had them vote on what story arcs, and they were doing the Dark Astoria story arcs. And I was like, hey, this is cool, because I hadn't done those. And now instead of soloing them, I can do them with my friends, and we're going to roleplay about it. We're doing it in character. So it was pretty cool. And we did a couple of them that were fine. But the storyline is that there's this evil villain named Mott. Now he's debuffing me in a reasonable way. There's this evil villain named Mott. And he's like an evil god for the Banished Pantheon. And the Banished Pantheon are trying to revive him. What is my 2-hit? 66%, and I was missing that much. That is just ridiculous. The Banished Pantheon is trying to bring him back, and if Mott is raised, then it's going to destroy the world. And so the way the story goes is there are villains, you know, people from Arachnos like Muse and stuff, as well as former villain faction members like Cray and so forth in Dark Astoria, who are there like giving you missions to do for them, because what's happened is the good guys and the bad are teaming up in theory against Mott, because if Mott gets out, it'll be bad for everyone, including Arachnos and Paragon City. So that's kind of the setup. And then in one of the storylines of this story arc, the next sort of chain of missions in this storyline, it's a series of like mini short story arcs, which is what they started doing in City of Heroes in the later game after, you know, 2009 or so. They started doing a lot of these story arcs that were not as long as this one. This one's a very long story arc. You do, you know, 15 missions or something, 10 missions to get it done. It's actually, I think it's been reduced a little bit. There were some street hunts that they took out of these. But they used to be really long, and they still are. The original ones still are quite long. And I actually like that. But I guess a lot of players wanted shorter ones, and here is a Karist. And so a lot of these newer arcs are like, you can do them in a night, right? I call them mini arcs. They're like one or two big missions, a couple of small missions, and maybe a street hunt. So there's a Karist, and we saved him, and we got a clue. So these are short story arcs that we were playing in character. And I'm going to continue that after we read the clue. So the clue says, Icarus says, it's hardly surprising that they sought to retrieve me, whether by chance or design. There is an emissary of the ever-burning hells in your world, the envoy of the darkness. And unlike a proper summoning, the envoy walks unbound and free. He comes with sweet promises and fell bargains. When he appeared, all who once trod Orenbega streets felt it, for we had dealt with this ambassador's master before. So this guy isn't the bad guy. He's the emissary of the bad guy. Now that the envoy is here, it has already begun to make offers, etc., etc. So now we're in trouble, and we've got to send him back to hell. So let's call Cadeo. And he says, Icarus says that the warriors summoned a demon and didn't bind it, and now it's free and negotiating with Circle of Thorns. This is bad, Tiger Shrike. Yep, it's bad. Envoy of Shadows. How long has this been? We got time. So we'll do another mission, and I'll continue my story about the in-character mission running. So he says, I've had a chance to talk to Icarus about the demon the Circle of Thorns summon. He calls it the Envoy of Shadow and says that it's an emissary of the demon prince of the Orenbegas dealt with before. Will you stop the sacrifice to the envoy? And I think this is where we're going to fight him optionally. So there are demonic sacrifices, and we've got to stop them. So we're doing these in-character story arc nights with my supergroup. And we are... Why did I go to Talos Island? Because I'm talking. And we're playing them in character, which was cool. It was fun. I enjoyed it. And we get to the next story. And this next story is working for a guy who is from the Malta. The Malta is an evil mercenary group. And they are really difficult to fight. We're going to get to them when we get into the 40s. And we'll start fighting them. And the Peregrine Island contacts give them to you. And they're basically mercenaries. They work for the highest bidder. And you put one of their bosses in jail in an earlier story arc. And the storyline starts with you have to break this boss out of prison. They've asked the Paragon police to release him, and they have refused. And this boss will not give us whatever help we need from this boss to defeat Mod. He won't give it to us unless we break him out of prison. And you're going to have to fight the Paragon. You go into the Ziggurat, which is the prison. Fight the Paragon PD, and you're going to have to fight Blue Steel, who of course is the level up trainer in King's Row and is our buddy. I mean, you know, I've worked with Blue Steel before. He's given me missions and stuff before. He's a good guy. My character's friends with him, right? At least, you know, in character. Now, again, this isn't just running missions. This is in character story arc night, right? So we're supposed to be doing this in character. And so I was like, well, I don't think my character would do this. And so we talked about it, and they said, well, you know, that's the mission, right? And some people said, well, we got to do what we got to do, right? Whatever we have to do whatever it takes. And so now I got to find how to get in here. They said we have to do whatever it takes. And I thought, do whatever it takes. That's what the villains say, not the heroes, right? The heroes are supposed to have ethics, right? The villains are the ones who will go to any lengths to succeed. The heroes are supposed to be individuals for whom there are lengths to which they will not go in order to succeed, because they have morals, they have ethics. I'm not going to fight the police. I'm not going to fight Blue Steel. So we had this discussion. It was an out-of-character discussion on the group chat before we started. And I said, look, guys, I don't think Silver Phoenix is, you know, she wouldn't do this. She wouldn't fight the police. She wouldn't break somebody out of prison like that against the wishes of the police, right? I mean, if a judge had made a deal and said, we'll let this guy out, fine. But this is like going against the will of law enforcement. She wouldn't do that. So they said, well, what do you want us to do? That's the story. And what are we supposed to do? And I said, well, I know what I'm supposed to do, which is my character's not doing the storyline. I'm not doing the mission. So, oh, this is going to be ugly. So they did the mission. You know, I said, I can't do it. So the leader of the supergroup said, well, look, if you want, you can leave the group, no hard feelings. Would you want to come back after we're done breaking these guys out of prison? If we no longer have to, you know, break the law and stuff, would you want to come back? And I said, sure. That I'll do. So I waited. I stayed in game for, you know, half hour or so until they finished the mission. And then I went and I, you know, played the rest of the storyline with them. But I gotta tell you, I'm sure that they were all like shocked, because even though they're all role players, right? They're all role players, and whoops, then they're all good role players. They also wanted to do the missions, and none of them, I don't think any of them would have said, I'm not gonna do the mission and get the badge and the storyline and the clue, whatever. I'm not gonna get the reward. I'm not gonna refuse the rewards just for role playing. But to me, that's what role playing is. Your character doesn't do certain things and does do other things because it's what their character would do. And so we're going to be careful here because of these guys. So yeah, that's a story I actually told in my Scrapper videos that I couldn't post because Homecoming banned us from posting them. Get this guy down, that's what we want. So the Earth Thorns are gone by level 40 clearly, but the demons aren't. I guess the demons stay till the end. I could live without them, I've got to say. They're one of the more unpleasant mobs to fight because they have both resistance, and debuffing, and the stupid like flying away at like light speed and you can't get them, and then they're gonna come back, which is really annoying. They have like a lot of frustrating mechanics all rolled into one versus many of the other types of enemies that may have one frustrating mechanic but not multiple. Now those guys probably against like a flame, like a fire blast or something, probably no problem at all. But yeah, against a lethal Stalker, they are a pain. Alright, this guy is probably going to aggro to me. Let's go ahead and do this and then drop into the water so the rest of them can't see me. Okay, guide. Pull him down. Come on down. There you go. I knew you'd come. I knew you loved me. You couldn't stay away from me. Alright. So now we hide again. I don't know if we're going to be able to avoid aggroing that guy. Well, let's try. We'll stay as far away as possible. We're going to back up. Wow. Guess we need instant healing here. Oh, they're slowing me down a lot because they've stacked it. So it's the minus recharge is killing me. I'll take that over the 2-hit debuffs and defense debuffs, though. I have enough powers on a fast enough recharge time that even with massive recharge debuffs, I'm alright. There we go. Not bad. And we did not aggro those guys. So we have to find 7. So yes, so this is... Excuse me, I'm almost certain this is the one where you can optionally fight the envoy. 7 victims to rescue. That was something like what the mission was. Yeah, that runaway thing is really annoying. Because now I gotta sit here and wait for him to bother coming back, and this guy cannot be rescued until he comes back. There he is. All for that sliver of hit points. So 6 guys to rescue. Let's look around, make sure there's nobody else. Yeah, I don't see anybody else in here. Check all the nooks and crannies. Okay. So let's check ahead. Yep, 2 spawns. Alright, so let's start with this guy, I guess. And the next room might be where the envoy is. Alright, we're going to need some backup here because I knew I was going to over aggro, but jeez. Yeah, we definitely can't fight the Envoy of Shadows now. Oh, and I am stuck in this stupid slowdown. Kill this thing. Alright, we got it. Now we gotta get the Earthworm, because he is driving me nuts. Alright. Oh, there's the other guy, yeah. And I saw him too. I didn't think I was gonna aggro both spawns. I mean, I knew they were there. Yeah, you're not pulling me in there, because I know the Envoy's in there. That's the prison. Right, if we go unconscious, we're going to wake up in the prison. And I think that's where that is. That's what that is. Okay, we're down a bunch of heals, which is unfortunate. But that's because I over-aggroed there. Alright, we're hidden, so now we can go in here. So this is the prison. Oh no, it's not the prison. I thought this was the prison level. Okay. Anybody down below? Doesn't look like it. Yeah, they really are putting this is almost like a +2 × 3 or something, or +2 × 2, because it definitely has a lot more spawns in it. Where's the glowy? Over there. Okay, has a lot more spawns, and they're a lot closer together than you would normally expect. Come to me. There you go. Now we can click on the glowy here. Still gotta find 6 victims. Got a clue. A warning from hell. A lengthy document contains dire portents about warnings from a prince of demons about the impending return of an entity called Hequat. All made in the vaguest possible way. Interesting. I can't get up there. I'll go up the stairs. Alright. Oh! Did not mean to do that. Alright, well. So there's a corridor there. Does this go anywhere, or is it dead end? No, it goes somewhere. So we're going to have to look for kidnappees everywhere here. Look at this. Look at this spawn. That is... It's 2 spawns. This is like it's set as +2 × 2. That's just insane. Alright, well. Oh, come on with the missing. Alright, we're definitely gonna need instant healing and dull pain all at once. And I might have to flee from this, because I'm not gonna be able to hit anybody. Look at how long it takes to beat these guys because of the misses. Let's placate that guy. Just to give ourselves a little bit of a reprieve. Alright, we got it. Not too much of a problem. That was for the cone. And then what we got left is the earth thorn. Or air thorn, sorry. Well, not too bad. We're starting to build up some enhancements. Now, weren't there a bunch of guys in here? Oh, Lord. Yeah, that's going to be really, really ugly. Well, we may have to do some running here, but let's see what happens. Yep, we have to run. Let's see who we pulled out. Just him? Okay. Alright, that's not too bad. Yeah, I don't like running, but in a case like that where you have 2 spawns and you've got 3 or 4 debuffers in the spawn, there's just discretion is the better part of valor. You're just going to get so debuffed, you're not going to hit anything, you're not going to be able to move, you're not going to be able to recharge. Alright, there we go. So that takes care of this section, as far as I can tell. We got some luck back. I wish we had some heals in here, but we're alright. So is there an exit on the other side here? There is. Alright, so we got 2 of them. I don't know which way we're going to go, so let's just wander through. I think at this point we're just going to look for the hostages, because this episode is getting really long. There's one. Wow. 3 spawns all in the same place. Great. He ran away from me, so I'm not even going to be able to pick him off. At least I picked that guy off. At least the others didn't aggro to me. What the heck is hitting me? Okay. Okay. Go back into hide. Instant healing should be back up soon, which is good. Now we assassinate. Unfortunately, those guys didn't see me. Okay. Hide up again. We're nearly halfway through level 37 already, guys. This is a really long mission. I didn't realize it was going to be this long. And then we're going to have to try to see if we can find and fight the Envoy of Shadows at the end of it, if possible. So we can see how we do against them at +2, +3. Okay. Oh, what are you doing there? Where did you come from? Okay. Hide. Let's see if we can find more hostages. This is going to be a real pain finding them all, because there's so many nooks and crannies in Orenbega, and you're always going to miss one. And unlike the glowies, which make sound, and you can find if you don't see them, the hostages don't make any sound. And you can't find them if you don't see them, and they don't put a little X on the map. And there, over here, I think, is the Envoy of Shadows. He was there in the last mission, time I was in this mission. This is the prison. I'm trying to see here. Let's hover up. So there's a hostage. Okay. We should be alright. Okay. So the magical barriers are like elite bosses almost. And you end up inside there and you have to fight your way out of it. It's a cool idea that, I don't know if it was executed quite right. Mostly just because the barriers just take so long to take down. I understand the idea is that, you know, it's a prison cell, so it'd be hard to break out of. But just hitting attack, 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 attack over and over and over again is actually kind of boring. There's no chance of anything hitting back. There's no chance of them hearing you trying to break yourself out. I do not see any other hostages in here. So there's still 4 victims to find. And I don't know where they're going to be. So this may be one of these missions where I'm going to have to pause it and bring you guys back. But let's see. We've got over here to do. So we got to go down. No, wait a minute. No, got to go this way. Got to go this other way. Right? No. Did I screw that up? I screwed that up. I gotta go south. Oh, and there's a hostage right there. Perfect. I thought the envoy was around here. Maybe not. I wanted to try my hand against him. Right after the rest of the mission was over. So I came in through here and I completely missed this guy. Wow, that was sloppy. That's because I got into a fight, right? And then this is how we came in, but it randomly teleported us, right? Because we came in further up and then it teleported us to here. So let's see where it teleports us now. Yep. And now we're here. Okay, well, we got to get back to that other spot, but let's wander over to this side for now and see what's through this other tunnel. Couple more guys, couple more guys. Hi, guys. You can imagine if we had to fight everybody how long this mission would take. It'd be insane. It'd be like an hour and a half. Alright, let's try going through. There we are. That's what we want. There's a hostage. So we'll stay nice and tucked in over here so those guys don't see me. Okay, and now we need 2 more. And there's one. And I thought that was the envoy, but it's not. So we only need 1 more guy to rescue after this. And is that him over there? So there's nobody here. No, I thought maybe there was a hostage. I thought this guy was a hostage, but no. Well, there should be a hostage in here, I would think. Let's hover up. No? Well, we still haven't been up there. I think we've been everywhere else. Alright guys, I'm going to head up there. I will bring you back when we're over there, or at least when I find the next hostage. Okay, found him. He's right here. I did not see him with these two, but he's right here. So we're going to have to work our way over because there's too much aggro in this area. So let's do a pull. I can't go into this room because there are guys in there. But we're alright here. God, I hate these demon lords. I really do. Worst thing to fight pretty much in the game. The minions are bad, but the lieutenants are so much worse. If this was like Airthorn casters, I would just run in and fight them all, but with that, I don't think so. Alright, so let's try another ranged attack here. Let him come to me. You pretty much have to use an accuracy inspiration on these guys. And even then, 37% to hit. Even with like a plus 25% accuracy going. Just sick. Placate him. These guys are worse than bosses. Like, this guy's as bad as fighting the Envoy of Shadows. At least I can knock him down. Alright. So that takes him out. Now we should be clear to fight these two. And this will not be as hard as the fight against the Nervas. We're just going to assassinate this guy. And guys, I've been all over it. I did not see the Envoy of Shadows in here. We're going to take one more look in the prison section, but I don't think he's in there. What's going on? The victim was here. The victim was here. What the heck happened? I have it on tape, okay? The victim was there. What the heck happened? I don't know, guys. Let me pause it again and I'll see if I can figure out what happened. Alright, guys, we're back. This is an insanely long episode because of that insanely long mission. Didn't realize it was going to be that long. I'm done. I couldn't. The guy disappeared. You saw it. He was there. I defeated his kidnappers and he disappeared. I went in and out of the mission. I went all over the map. There's no other kidnapped victim that I could find. I wasn't going to fight like 40 more guys just to see. It's absurd. I have things to do today and I've already been recording for an hour. So I'm just done with this mission. We will complete it in a couple days when the contact allows me to do that. I'm not going back in and doing it all over again. There's really no reason to do that. So I won't record for a couple days, and when the time comes, we'll come back to this and go on to the next mission in the story arc. Sorry about that, guys. Nothing I can do. Seems like there are a lot more bugs in these Rebirth missions than there were on Homecoming. I don't know if that's because Leandro, since Homecoming is working off of Leandro's stuff, I don't know if that's because Leandro went in and fixed a bunch of these bugs over the years. I don't know if it's because Homecoming fixed the bugs. I don't know if it's just something about the server that Rebirth is running on. Maybe it's not as powerful a machine and it can't handle all the calculations. I don't know what's going on. But there was a hostage in there that disappeared when I defeated those guys. So, I don't know what happened. But I'm not going to continue any further. There's really no point. And we'll come back and do the next mission in this story arc once the contact lets me autocomplete. Until then, I am Scrapperlock, and this is City of Heroes.